People forgot how good Kawhi Leonard truly is. After being out the entire season last year, I feel as if people are going to be surprised on how good Kawhi Leonard truly is this season. But quickly before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports, I make opinionative NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Kawhi Leonard is a definition of hard work. Originally when he got drafted, he was seen as a phenomenal defender, but offensively he was seen as somewhat limited. But ever since he got drafted, season after season, he consistently improved one certain aspect of his game until eventually he got to the player that we all know and love today. And at this point, as most of us know, Kawhi is super versatile offensively. And that type of path, just improving your game season after season, is exactly what you would want to see from these younger guys, and a lot of times people who are good defenders coming into the draft are compared to Kawhi exactly for that reason. Because no matter how much talent you come into the NBA with, if you don't work hard on your game season after season, you're really not going to become that good of a player. And we've seen a ton of examples in the past of players coming into the draft that have a ton of talent, and maybe in their first season they play pretty well, but if they don't truly work hard on their game season after season, they're eventually either A, gonna fall off, or B, just never truly live up to expectations. But it's very clear that Kawhi is a complete opposite. But now the question is, how good was Kawhi Leonard? Well, in my opinion, I'm definitely biased. I did think at one point that he was the best player in the NBA, but at this point, obviously I can't say that, and I couldn't say that for a couple seasons now due to the lack of success in the playoffs. And I do feel as if his public perception was somewhat tarnished due to the fact that originally when him and Paul George went to the Clippers, and especially a couple seasons after, the fact that they were never able to win an NBA championship when most people, including myself, expected them to, definitely was not a good look for him, and it kind of just told a lot of people that he wasn't on that level. Now, in my opinion, I definitely still see Kawhi as a top 5 player in the league, but at the same time, I can't really make all that many excuses for why the Clippers weren't able to win a championship. And although at this point, I do think the Clippers are going to be pretty good with all the additions that they've made, I somewhat feel as if their championship window may have passed. I don't really see them as being one of the top 2 or top 3 teams that I would pick to win an NBA championship going into the season. But of course, who knows, maybe the Clippers could be better than I think, and maybe they could actually win a championship finally. But in terms of just individual talent, Kawhi is off the charts. He's a phenomenal three-point shooter, which is something he really incorporated into his game throughout his career, where he has a nice ability to hit a catch-and-shoot three-point jump shot, he can cross over, sidestep, even has a nice pull-up three-point jumper. Basically, from that range, he can basically do anything. But now moving on to the best ability of his game, which is his mid-range shooting. From that mid-range area, Kawhi is basically unstoppable, and he's been that way for some time now. He has a phenomenal catch-and-shoot mid-range jump shot, he has a really nice pull-up mid-range jumper, crossover, sidestep, step back, he has a really nice post turnaround fadeaway within his game, and basically from that mid-range area, if he's defended or if he's not defended, it doesn't really matter. He's basically automatic from that range. But now moving on to his driving and finishing ability, this is also a phenomenal aspect of his game as well, as he is somewhat sneaky athletic and definitely has the ability to posterize players at times, but besides that, he also does a nice job at finishing around players with crafty layups, either with his left or right hand. He can finish through contact, he can finish around contact, he has a decent floater within his game, although he doesn't necessarily utilize it all that much. And overall, in terms of being a 3-level scorer, I think it's pretty clear that Kawhi checks every single box, and he does so at a very high level from each level. But now moving on to his passing and playmaking ability, this is also something that Kawhi has really incorporated throughout his game as of late, and at this point I would say he's a pretty good passer and playmaker. He's not really good, he's just pretty good. But considering all the other skills that he has, and considering the position that he does play, he doesn't need to be a very good passer and playmaker. But at this point, Kawhi does a nice job at finding teammates either when running the pick and roll, just driving all the way to the basket, or just analyzing the defense at the top of the key to just find teammates cutting all the way to the basket, finding teammates for wide open catch and shoot 3-point jump shots, and overall just adding that threat of a passer and playmaker within his game and keeping the defense on their toes somewhat. Now what makes Kawhi great is how great of a defender that he is, and I mentioned this before in the video, but this was something that Kawhi always had within his game as soon as he got drafted into the NBA, but that's being a phenomenal defender and just an elite defender at that. At this point, you can definitely make the case that Kawhi is the best defender in the NBA, and I would probably tend to agree with that, as he just does a phenomenal job at completely locking down whoever he's defending, no matter how good they are. And he not only does a phenomenal job at just getting stops, he also does a great job at getting those poke steals. He has great hands in the lane as well, at just reading the passing lanes and getting steals that way. He does a phenomenal job at blocking shots as well, and overall on the defensive side of the court, he's just exactly what you want on your team. Just that true lockdown defender that you can put on the opposing team's best player to either A, completely lock them down, or just B, make their life that much more difficult. So I truly see Kawhi as one of the best players in the NBA, and just his build in terms of what he's good at, I feel like it's just perfect. Now a very legitimate question that some of you may be asking is, after those significant injuries that Kawhi did go through, would he be the same player once he does return, or will he be affected by those injuries and not be as good of a player as he was prior to those injuries? Well, in my opinion, of course there's a possibility that he won't be as good as he was in the past, but I definitely think he will be as good as he was in the past, and I think he's honestly just going to continue to get better. I feel like that's just the player that he is. He's just going to continue to work hard on his game like he has been throughout the entire year, even though he was out, and I just don't really see a scenario where he's not at the very least as good as he was in the past. And the reason why I have so much confidence in him, besides his work ethic, was the fact that he did deal with a bunch of injuries in the past, and some of them were significant, and once he came back, not only was he as good as he was in the past, he even got better as time went on. So I kind of see the same case scenario for Kawhi in this sense as well. Now for the Clippers going forward, hopefully for their sake, they're able to make some noise in the playoffs and maybe even make it to the finals and win an NBA championship, who knows? I definitely think they're talented enough. The question is, could they actually do it? Because they were definitely talented enough in the past, but they were never able to do so. But I guess we'll see what happens not only with the Clippers, but with Kawhi Leonard going forward. But as I mentioned, in my opinion, I definitely think he's going to be as good as he was in the past, at the very least. And although I did mention that I don't see Kawhi as being the best player in the league anymore, I at the same time still think he can get back to that level if he just has more success in the playoffs. I think that's the biggest key for him, because in terms of individual talent, of course, is off the charts. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you forgotten how good Kawhi Leonard truly is, or did you not? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these two videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.